yesterday's price is not today's price.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. This is the Maverick Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Maverick. Today, we are rolling out the red carpet. Once again, we've got the international, not local, KO. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Maverick. I appreciate it.
Super excited. Before we dive into everything, for the 1% of the people out there that don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Like you said, I go by the name of KO, the Illest Bitch Alive. Fuck who tell you otherwise.
There
that's
we go.
my tagline. I'm an artist. Like you said, I'm an artist from Enid, Oklahoma. Born and raised there, high school on. Just passionate, walking in my passion. Pretty much that's what it is.
Yeah, I was digging in a little bit to your history, and it sounds like you've got some musical connections there. So growing up in Enid, it sounds like mainly your mom being a club DJ, right?
Yeah, my mom owned a nightclub.
Grandmother too?
My grandma was heavy in church.
Okay.
Singing in the choir. That was always something that she put on me. I hated doing, but for sure, yeah, someone that's a part of my story.
Awesome. So would you say that kind of like directed your musical taste in a way, or what got you interested into music?
As far as directing my musical taste, I would say as far as quality, like church taught me the tier of how singing is supposed to sound. Like I think I met some of the most amazing musicians in my life in church. So I don't never trade that experience for nothing. But just having my mom as a DJ whenever I was a kid, it was constantly music in my house. Like my brothers loved music. My older brother, he rapped, and that's kind of where I got my start. So yeah.
Okay, cool. What type of DJ was she? Like just club DJ? Like what type of music? What was she doing?
Enid is a small place, so like all the local parties and the nightclubs, like she was just in the mix of that. She was also on the street, so she was popular, so people would just have her at all their events. Like she was just a household name. People knew her, so it was easy for her to walk in the door like she was that vibe.
I see. That's cool. And growing up in school, like what were you into? Were you always into music, or were you doing other activities in school, or what was up with that?
I was getting into a lot of trouble in school, but I always loved music. Like to this day, I've never found nothing that makes me feel the way the music do. So yeah, like I said, I live a purpose-driven life. You know what I'm saying? I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like it's the only thing that I truly understand in this life is music. So in school though, like when I was younger, I wanted to be a lawyer. Like that was always my dream when I grew up. Like everybody around me went to jail, and I wanted to be on the other side of that trying to help. So that's kind of where I came up with that from. That
reminds me of one of your lyrics where you're like, I come from a place that's ugly, so I have to dream, right? That's like when I heard that lyric, I was like, yeah, I can identify with that for sure.
Thank you, man. Like it's real shit. Like I think whenever you come from seeing a whole lot of nothing, like the smallest things, everything mean everything to you. Like me sitting here in this interview with you, like this setup is amazing. This is like a real moment for me, like as far as what I do. You know what I mean? Like you don't get a lot of opportunities to do shit on a scale like this. So I want you to know that I'm grateful for that off rip.
Thank you. I'm just excited as well. Like I said, I was checking out your music and everything, and then you're performing all weekend, right?
Yeah,
so by the time that this is going to come out afterwards, but tell me, a little bit about what's going down this weekend, because it sounds like you're going to be super busy.
Yeah, this weekend is the Coalition DJ. I believe I want to say it's their first year, or it's my first year. Let me not say it's their first year. But they're having like a festival to celebrate their anniversary. So the entire Midwest region, they're having a conference here, and then they're doing like a big showcase all weekend long. Okay. So Friday night I'll be at Pony Boy. Sunday night on that I'll be at Beer City Music Hall. And then Saturday, I'll be at Scissor Tail for Pride Fest.
Wow, you are going to be busy. That's awesome. Man. And like a wide range of venues and different vibes in each of the venues. That's awesome.
I'm excited to see what kind of crowds they're going to bring out. I've never done Beer City Music Hall. It's my first time doing that. So I'm interested just to see performing what it's going to be like there. Yeah,
cool. So walk me through your musical journey. Did you always have this fusion of singing and rapping? Or like, how were you as an artist out the gate?
Like I said, the singing part, that came in the choir from my granny growing up, but it wasn't like something I was doing with intention. Like, whenever you're a kid and your parents or your guardian, whoever, force you to do something just so that you can do the other things that you want to do, you'll do that. So it's like, if you want to go play outside, do your piano lessons, something like that. So I always took choir serious, because if I was good, my grandma would let me do what I wanted to do, like watch wrestling or play outside and all that stuff. So that's where I got the singing from, for real. But it was never something that I was like confident with. Like as a rapper, always I felt like 10 toes down since I was probably like 12, 13. Like I was the best shit ever. That was always natural. But singing came later on, and the people actually love the singing more than they love the rapping. So it's kind of cool how it's developed.
Yeah, it's awesome. When I was listening, and you can sing, right? Because a lot of rappers, they'll auto-tune, right? But when I was hearing your stuff, Like it's legit. You can tell like you know how to sing as well. So,
Thank you. I appreciate that. Like like you said, it is real heavy in auto-tune right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the way that it makes my voice sound. I think I have a unique tone in the way that I sing. I tell people all the time, like, I grew up in church, so I know people that can sing, like, fill up this whole room with their voice. That's not who I am. Like, I do what Drake and a lot of other people with an interesting tone have learned to do something unique with their voice. So I consider myself one of those. But I know people who will blow the roof off the building. So I will never discredit what that is. Like, if I seen Michael Jordan play basketball, I'm not going to tell you I'm finna cross up Michael Jordan. I've seen the best before, for sure.
You'll sing a portion and then you'll rap a portion, right?
For sure.
So do you say you enjoy doing that always? Or do you, sometimes you just stick just to the hook, only singing, or what?
I like whenever I can have a verse, because what I like about music most is the art of storytelling. Okay. So with me, I think it gives me time to like navigate, what are we really talking about here? Like, what is the message that I'm trying to convey? Okay. So I always want a verse and a hook if I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tell me about your first project and how that went down as far as getting off the ground and stuff, especially, I don't know. So you moved to OKC recently, right? But I imagine
it's been about 7 years now.
You started in Enid, or
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Enid has no music scene. It's not a thing there. So I'm a person who will always say that they're very delusional. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I dream really big. I see life much larger than it really is in front of me. Like, I'm one of the people that I believe in God, because I can't believe in the shit I'm seeing sometimes. So it's like, I think just believing in something that's bigger than you. So it's like coming from a place where I didn't see a lot of stuff, and like being into hip hop and music in general, like music videos, Smack DVDs, stuff like that, just musical cultures from other locations, like getting into that.
Okay.
It just let me know that it was real. You could come from nowhere, like the hood is everywhere. Like, just learning that by leaving Oklahoma and seeing different things and being like, it's really the same shit everywhere. So
it reminds me of one of my favorite quotes was like, if your dreams aren't scaring you, they're not big enough. Yeah. Right. So
for sure.
Oftentimes that happens to me too, where I'll tell people, hey, I got this project in mind, and people are like, you're crazy.
Nobody is taking it as serious as you is. Like, I'm one of those people. That's why I say, like, I live in my delusion. Like, I believe that everything that I'm doing, like, is that already. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I truly, whenever I say I'm the illest bitch alive, like, I believe that in the here and now. And I don't just mean Oklahoma. Yeah. Like, I haven't even explored the whole world, but I feel like no matter where I go, I'm always going to be who I am. Like, life has shown me that time and time again. So that's always something that's important to me.
Cool. Tell me about the first time you performed in public. Do you remember that? Like, the first time you had an audience? Like, how did that go down?
The very first time that I performed, I think I was 15. Back in Enid, they used to have this fashion show called PJ's Fashion Show, and it's like the guy who owns the barbershop in our town. It's only one black barber. He used to host a fashion show. Like, he would get vendors from Oklahoma City to send clothes, and he would have all the kids from the neighborhood come be in the fashion show and walk in and model the clothes and shit. So it was always like a big deal in Enid for the black community. That's awesome. He started adding artists to it and performances, like with vendors and all this cool shit. And I had I was fresh into rapping, like had just laid my first 16 in the studio, but I was like, oh, we gonna have a concert? Somebody gonna let us come do this shit live? So
awesome. I
went up in there and I think it was like 8 bars on the song, and it was probably like the dopest experience of my life. Like, I got a good reaction back then. Like, recalling it then, it was a good night for us. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. And it just went down there in his barber shop, or where would he hold it?
It's this building. It's kind of like I guess you would say, like, you know those what are they called? The military reserve buildings that they have, like a vet building. Yeah. So we have like a stage at ours, like it's a big performance center. So it's a big stage to where you can really walk around and move like it's a real performance.
Got it.
So yeah, that's where they used to have it at.
And I imagine once you felt that adrenaline from the people and performing live, you're like, I'm hooked. Like I want to do this forever.
I knew that I was good, because like if you wasn't decent, people wasn't giving you the response that I was getting. Yeah. Like, so I think that's how I knew that I was different.
So it's kind of like Apollo Theater vibes. Like, they're going to call you out if you're not good.
If it's not that, they're not giving you anything. So like for me, if I'm just spitting a 16 outside the football game or at school, or I got the reaction of that, oh, wait, this shit right here is cool. So I kept getting that, and it kept getting stronger and better each time, and like just growing with it. So I kind of just ran with it. Like, I can't be wrong. Everybody else is saying yeah, so.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Have you always been like an independent artist? Because I saw like there was a Motown connection out there with you, right? So tell me a little bit about that Motown connection, and, you know, whether you decided to stay independent or did you go record label? You know, walk me through that. Okay, so
the Motown connection is actually through Fire in Little Africa, which is a centennial album that they did for the Tulsa Race Riots. Like, it's based around the story of the Tulsa Race Riots in Greenwood. I actually came in that project on a whim. Like, they had filmed a documentary, they had recording sessions where they had all the other artists like lay their verse and like kind of mesh to build something. And I guess I was having a little momentum at the time, like grinding, building it up. And a guy by the name of Steph Simon, who was over the project, saw me and invited me into the fold, and it kind of just grew from that. So the situation with Motown was like a group label for that. But as far as me, KO the artist, I've been independent since day one.
Okay. Did they just run across your social media, or how did they sort of like get wind of your buzz? Basically. My
manager Xavier and I, we do a lot of footwork. Like I'm somebody who, as far as the Oklahoma music scene, is not to. No, forget it. It is what it is. It's like I'm one of the artists that you have to acknowledge for their grind. You know what I'm saying? Like we go outside and hang up a lot of posters and then flyers on the cars and be out in the parking lot sweating, doing the work for real. So if you came outside a show that I was at, even if I wasn't the headliner, you had that flyer on your car. You'd have seen the girl with the blonde fade somewhere. It's no way that you missed it. So just I think being outside, working my program, doing it that way, he came across me, and it kind of just grew from there. Like he reached out, and the rest is history.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember the street team days when people would just put posters and stuff. But are you doing that to this day?
To this day, like
putting out stuff. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I got results from that shit.
Really?
Like people can say that, oh, it's dated, nobody's doing hand to hand, everything is digital. Somebody going on Instagram and seeing a sponsored ad is one thing. That's going to live for a blink in your entire day. You're going to keep scrolling, forget that you saw that shit.
Yeah.
I put that flyer on your window when you came out the club. Nobody's throwing it away right then. It's going to sit there. You're going to see it on the drive home when you get back in your car the next day before you go to work.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck is this? She looking interesting. Let me scan this and see what it's about and check it out.
Okay.
They
so
like
you put
it.
like a QR code or something on there?
They got the links to every streaming site, like everything. You can get straight to me off that flyer. So.
Okay. Awesome. That's cool. Yeah. I think that's a unique approach because you're right. Most people today, they're like, social media is where it's at. Like,
and they're not wrong.
I mean, it's true, but it sounds like your method's working as well.
If you got the budget to do it digitally, like advertising online is pricey. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, like it's something that's simple. It's like if you want to get on Instagram and get something that's really gonna be impactful, and you have anything short of a couple hundred, it's like what was it really worth? And it's like I could spend that couple hundred and get maybe 500 of those QR cards and have them everywhere and it actually work. You know what I'm saying? Like I won't be a blink in your day. I'm gonna be posted in your dash in your car for a long time. Like I still to this day see a lot of those flyers in people's car whenever I come across them. So it's crazy.
Cool. Tell me about your musical influences growing up. I know you said church, but like you personally, like what were you into?
Jay-Z for sure. That's my favorite rapper. Mary J. Blige, Jill Scott, Erykah Badu.
Okay.
Lil Wayne, Joel Santana. Whitney Houston, just all different types of walks and lives from hip hop and R&B and soul. Like I even love pop music. Like I even love a little bit of country. It just it all depends on the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like I said, I'm a lover of the storyteller. So country music got people to tell great stories. So I love shit like that too. So I love a little bit of everything.
Okay, that's cool. So the whole R&B, soulful, like that's just like you enjoyed the music and then church, and then you just like found out you were good at it, or how did you discover you had a voice?
I feel like as far as discovering your gift in life, it's the things that you can do like effortlessly. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit that you can wake up and do without taking too much of a deep breath. It's like I'm good at this. I know how that this works. You know what I mean? Like I think since I'm such a loner and an introvert, like I study music so much. Like I play music while I do. It's nothing that I can do that I can't play music while I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And depending on like the vibe I'm in, like my playlist will change too. Yeah. So if I'm having a bad day or if I'm mad or whatever, like the playlist, you can definitely
curate
tell.
The sound. Yeah. I'm the same way, so I get it. It's just loving the things that I hear and then learning that, hey, I can do that and that's kind of decent. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me see what my rendition of that is, and then just finding my way to my own sound with it.
That's cool. Do you write everything?
Yeah.
You write your own stuff all the time?
I write it all the raps, all the singing, it's all me. Like, I think it's, as far as like my artistic approach, that's very important. Like, this is me that you're getting. Like, I'm not giving you somebody else's pen and then me trying to deliver it better. It's like, no, this is me, all of it. Like, yeah.
Okay. When does inspiration strike? How does that happen? Is it just like a random moment and you just got to like jot it down real quick, or like how does that usually happen for you?
I think with each album, it's changed over the years. Like it was a time where I could watch movies, or I could just sit and sift through beats and it'll come. Or if I'm not influenced, like I could watch movies and then write the soundtrack to the movie. Like I could find my own way to present a narrative. But as of late, like with me doing so much moving around, and I think it's weird, like when the music actually starts rolling, how it changes you creatively. It's like, if I'm honest, I'm not as confident in some of the things that I create now. It's like I'm way more nitpicky with myself. So it's just, I think kind of finding my way to the story that I want to tell. Like what do I really have to say? Like not just talking for the sake of talking, like talking because I genuinely have something to say. Like I think I'm in that pocket right now. So it's different. It varies.
Yeah, when I was listening to your stuff, it sounds really well produced and mastered and everything. Who do you work with? Is it here local or okay? Tell me about that.
I work with an artist by the name of Joey Sativa, mixed by Nucci.
Okay.
He records every session. He mix and masters everything. I tell people all the time, like, he speaks my language. Like, I don't know the tech terminologies for a lot of what this shit is, but if I tell him I want this song to sound like you're in space and I want it to be like it's forcing at you from this direction, or if I want it to come stronger, he gets it. Everything I'm trying to tell him, and then we've built a relationship off that. So
that's cool. Yeah, because right now, kind of like the vibe, especially with the newer artists, is like the whole distorted, like super saturated. What are your thoughts?
Damn near
on that
don't know
sound?
what they saying. Yeah, like
it sounds like your subwoofers are blown out, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about that style?
I like the way the music evolves. Like when people find new ways to do creative shit. Like I never want to be the person in the room that knocks it. Like even if I'm not the audience, I can't say that it's not great. It just may not be for me. But I think I like the way that it's evolved. Like I love artists like Party Next Door. I like shit like Lil Baby. Like I don't sometimes always know or resonate, but it's like I like what you're doing creatively. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think every way the music has evolved. Whenever it went from lyrical to trap to the Soulja Boy era to all that shit, like
right.
I loved every single phase of it. So yeah, I ain't mad at it.
These kids are like kind of like the rebels, and they're like, we're gonna show you it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah,
it has to, we're just gonna put it out there.
No song structure, no anything. You could get 8 bar like from Lil Yachty's last 2 hits. Like if you notice, it's like he didn't even really go in there and consciously try to do anything.
Right.
But it's gonna resonate because it's simple. Like I think everything that people latch onto is like the most simplistic things in the world. Like I think that's why TikTok works so well. It's the most that you can get in 5-10 seconds. Like, and they can run off with that. So I think that's kind of the objective for people to be creative, like as quick as possible. We don't have 3 minutes to get their attention. Yeah. What can I say in 6 seconds to make you buy into this?
Yeah.
So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, for sure. What are your thoughts on that though? Because I feel like the algorithm is also dictating people's music taste, right?
Yeah.
Because back in the day, like you would like have to go and look at albums, CDs or whatever. You would go to record stores, and now it's like the algorithm sort of feeding you, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's like you deciding your music taste, or maybe the algorithm's just like dictating that for
sure.
you.
We're all brainwashed at this point. It's like everything that we getting is force fed. Like everything we know is what somebody told us. It's not an original thought that we forming. Like, but that's why true creatives matter. Because the people who coming up, even if you don't respect the way that they're doing it, they're giving you something outside of the mold. So you got to respect that they breaking the matrix. Like I love shit like that. But it's like you said, but it's all in marketing. Like everything that they selling us. Like I think about it all the time. Beyonce's latest album. Like. People, it's Beyonce, so it's great, but it's not the biggest song in the world because it's that great. Like Beyonce had $1 million to take to the radio to guarantee that every time you get in your car, you're gonna hear, "We gonna fuck up the night." Sure. Like you're gonna hear it every single time you get in your car. Like, but it's a bag. It's force fed to you, so of course it's the number one song in the world. You know what I mean? Like TikTok is the same thing. Playlisting, people buy placements. It's all that. It's all a marketing game. So yeah.
What I find interesting too is like when Drake will do like something different when he did like the EDM style vibe, right? And he did that whole album. At first people hated it. And they're like, oh, Drake sold out. Like, and then all of a sudden you see everybody vibing to that whole summer. Like,
house beats and Afro beats, that became the wave right after that. Like they didn't understand it. I think Drake's audience doesn't truly understand how creative he really is. Like Drake is an artist I look at is like, you can do anything. Like, I feel about him the same way I feel about me. Like, it's not no genre or no beat that you couldn't play on. Drake could go do a country song tomorrow and it would be a hit. That's the true creative. You studied everything. Like,
that's true.
But then Beyonce came and did it, and then it's the commercialized, like, version of that. So it's even bigger. So, yeah, now everybody's doing it. WizKid and all that music is the biggest shit in the world now. It's Afro beats. Yeah,
definitely. Tell me why KO. What's the meaning behind KO?
My cousin gave me that name. Like when I was younger, if you was in Enid and you said you could rap, I was the person that you had to rap against. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to challenge everybody to make sure that they knew that I was the hardest one out here. So
it's like, come battle and take the title from me. Like
that's how I feel. It's not that. It was like I said, I live in my mind. So in real time, it's not that, but that's the way that I feel. So it's like I was always up to give the challenge. Like I want you to know that I'm not afraid to take this challenge on. Like But my cousin, I went to his house. That was the first studio I ever went to. It was a house studio, old Dell computer set up with a rinky-dink mic, and I laid my first 16, and he saw me and was like, "Nah, cuz you killed that. Like, you knocked them out on the mic. We gonna call you KO." And then it just stuck. It just, they was calling me that from the rest of my days. So, yeah.
Okay. Is that album published? Like, can people check it out or no?
No, this was like long before you could even get distribution online. Like, I probably don't even know where I could get a I couldn't even hear that song in this day and time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, you should look for it. It might be cool to put out there. I don't know if you're proud of it or not, but it sounds like it's not bad.
I hate hearing all my old shit.
Yeah.
Like just to see, I like like I told you, I always thought I was that from whenever I was young. So it's like to go back and hear like the most confidence in some of the most mid bars I've ever written. It's like it's crazy. But yeah,
that's cool. So tell me, how many projects have you put out there already? How many albums have you put out there?
I have 8 albums out right now.
8 albums.
We actually just surpassed 100,000 streams across all streaming platforms.
Awesome. Congrats.
Independent. Yeah, like I'm really excited about that. Like just like I said, me and my manager being outside, like trying to do our rendition of force feeding it to the people, like becoming a household name. So that's something that I'm real proud of. Like people are actually going to that music and pressing play. So it means the things that I'm doing are working. So
and that's for the Independent Not Local project? Or
no, that's for like overall, like all of the albums that I
Okay.
have. Like some people catch like a big song and they'll have a lot of numbers off of one song.
Right.
It's like for me, what I love for my shit is that it's album based. Like the albums overall have great streaming numbers. Like they playing the entire thing. So yeah, it's cool to see.
Cool. I also saw that your latest was like a single with the feature, right?
Yeah.
Was that, so tell me about that. There was like a collab, I think, that I saw on there on Spotify.
Damn, it depends on which one you're talking about. I done did quite a few of them.
Yeah? Let me put it up. I was listening on the way over here to the podcast, and I was like,
was it the positive one?
It might have been.
If it's the positive one, I know which one you're talking about. No Time's a Wasting.
Let me see. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, it's like Time's a Wasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it, but it was like way different than all your other tracks.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, I try to be somebody who is nothing I can't do. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever they bring to the table, I always want to confidently be like, I can deliver that. If it's an influential record, if it's heartbreak record, if it's trap rap, if it's, like I said, Afro beats, neo soul, whatever. Like I always want to let it be known that I can step in that booth and do anything. Like, and I'm fearless and it's gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? So for that song, there's a book coming out by an author by the name of Bettina Love. It's called Punished for Dreaming. It's based around like kind of like the pipeline from the projects to prison, kind of basically. So it's just talking about how people are set up for failure a lot in our community. So it was something positive. I like the message. And she was trying to get a song done for it. And a guy by the name of Dr. View, who's also a part of the Fire in Low Africa, he reached out and pulled me in.
Okay.
And another artist by the name of Jacoby Ryan. So yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering, like, because that was like way different, so I didn't know the history behind the project.
Yeah.
But now
it's
that
a message.
now that you're telling me, it's like a deep message behind it. And then there's also a book, you said? Or?
Punished for Dreaming. That's gonna be coming out this September. So I did 2 songs for the rollout for her book, and so it's going good, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I see you're super busy, and also the other thing I like about you is like all your branding, everything you sent me was on point, right? So sometimes when I interview local people around here, they don't have their stuff all together, right?
Yeah.
And they're not as responsive and all that, but you from the gate, like everything's been super professional. Like everything, branding, everything on point. So
I appreciate that.
was
We
awesome.
appreciate that as far as my team. Like, we try to come into the building and bring professionalism every time. It's like, I want to set myself aside in that respect too. Like I want to be respected for doing great business. You know what I'm saying? Like
definitely.
I respect my time and I want to respect yours too. So that's just how I try to carry it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you also like touring around the U.S. and other places? Like what kind of touring are you doing here recently?
Not like a real tour. I've been a few places. Like I've been out to Atlanta. I've been to Maryland. I've been a few places. Like I've been around, but it's not where I want it to be yet to where I could really take it on like a nationwide tour. It's like a lot of the audience that I've built is still locally and there's still a lot of people to find. Yeah. It's like I said, I don't have the marketing money to make it worldwide, but it's a fan of day. So, the people who do find out about it outside of here, like they be tapped in too. Like I did this a documentary with Yahoo Japan. And I had people from Japan like hit me loving the music, loving the story, and just the way I was giving it up. So like I said, just a fan at a time. Like as I build the people, like I'll get to where they at. So yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever like did a deep dive into the analytics or anything like that? Because I think it was Russ that he's able to set up his tour based on like where they're streaming from.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, I've got like an audience here. I can go to this crazy, nobody's ever heard of, but I've got fans there, right? So
see, it's trying to figure it out that way. The hard part is in getting into some of those venues and not having any kind of connections. Like I don't have like a booking agent or something like that. So it's like being somebody in Oklahoma that's saying, hey, I have this many streams in your area. Like, can I come into your venue and perform my set? We never heard of you. You never been around here. Like,
I see.
The way streaming is set up, you could have faked those numbers for all we know. Like if it's not, we can't see it with our own eyes, it's not a real thing.
I see.
So it's like having a legitimate connection that's already into the venue that can say, oh no, this is legitimate. You should give that the shot. it's making those connections. That's where I'm at with it now. It's not that it's not getting there. It's just making the connections to be on the ground with it.
Yeah. So you've tried to reach out to venues and stuff like that,
Right.
but they just don't take
They
it
don't.
serious.
It's like I'm nobody there. It's
Yeah.
like in Oklahoma, you can see it. Like I'm on the ground, the posters are everywhere, the flyers are everywhere. But it's like I do great numbers in Seattle. But if I call Seattle, nobody's ever seen me or heard of me. These are people who are really deep diving into music. They love independent shit that found me. So it's kind of hard to. I could show you analytics, but that could be manipulated too. So
yeah. Do you think it's just because we're in Oklahoma? Because like I check myself against other podcasts and I've got bigger numbers, and then I see people that have like flaked on me, or like I'll send them a message and they ghost me, and they'll go turn around and do another podcast. They don't have as many views as what I've got,
right?
And just because they were in another bigger city, they think it's a bigger market.
It's a bigger opportunity. Yeah, you find out real quick some of the. Everything to shine ain't diamonds. You know what I'm saying? It's like some people will have the look, but once you get into the groove of it, it's not really that. Like there might be podcasts in Oklahoma who look like they're doing better than you, but they don't do better numbers. They don't have a better level of quality. It's
even like Dallas or like competing markets, like they'll go do like a podcast in Dallas or a podcast in California. And just because they're in a bigger city, they assume that they're more legit or whatever. Yeah. And just because I'm in Oklahoma, sometimes they're just kind of like brush me off sort of thing. Right. And I don't know if you run into that as like as an artist, but sometimes I feel like, man, I almost want to tell them I'm not in Oklahoma, right? Yeah. Just because it's weird. I don't know.
I understand it, and it's like especially for the level of quality that you give, and it's like I could say that too as an artist, but sometimes like I learned the value in it's truly the people. It's not the look. It's not the other artists. It's really like just the value in finding in that one person in the room who's like, no, I identify with what it is that you're doing. Like there's somebody who watches your podcast faithfully that's like, this get me through my shift. Like I like his energy and the way he conversates. Like whoever the people are that buy into you, they could be in fucking Perry, Oklahoma. They don't have no access to that podcast in Dallas. You mean more to them. Right. So it's just like the value is really in the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I get the bullshit that you're saying that comes with it, but the value is really just in the people who care about the shit you're doing.
And to that point, the other lesson that I've learned doing this is that I'm not always going to be able to convince my friends or even my family to support, right? Sometimes the biggest supporters and your biggest fans are like people you don't even know.
A stranger, somebody you even know.
It's so crazy,
you exist.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you look at your Facebook followers, your Facebook friends, and you're like, oh, out the gate, I'm going to have like 500 views. Like I've got all these friends.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, like you said a mouthful with that shit. It's like you coming into it and you think automatically all my family or friends will support it. Like they know me, they know how hard I'm working, they know what comes with this. Of course they will, and then they don't. Then it'll be somebody who don't know you from the Man in the Moon. They come to every show that's buying a t-shirt that's like, nah, like you supposed to be rich like right now. It's like
it's crazy.
My family don't even believe in me like that. You think I'm supposed to be somebody tomorrow. It's like, yeah, you deserve more of my time and energy. Like, yeah, it's just but what you said is definitely true. I don't know why it's like that. I'm one of the people that's like, if I'm in close vicinity to you and I see you trying hard, I want to try to push it forward. Like I want to try to help like however I can. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the world we live in. So
right. Yeah. And also too, like when, let's say Beyonce drops a new project or whatever, you see all your friends.
They're going
like,
to post that
They're going to post it.
Yeah.
They're going to share it to the story. Oh, we're excited. But you dropped the project. Nobody's sharing that.
It's like,
crazy.
Beyonce not going to pay your bills. Right. She don't give a damn about
do
you.
You think Beyonce is the one that needs the more, the more
She don't
support,
need your support. She
right?
got the check. Like Beyonce going up either way, whether you post it or not. So it's like, I don't know people's mentality with that. I think, sometimes people's insecurities and seeing you in a place that I think sometimes people's light, they start dim out real early in life. Like people get married, they have kids, it just draws them back from their dreams. You don't have it to chase it anymore. Your life is in a different direction. So seeing somebody that you saw that came from where you come do it, it might make you a little bit uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy for you to see or watch that. It can create some sort of envy in some way. And it may not even be with malice intent, but it's just a feeling that's there because it's like, damn, they're reaching for the stars, but I couldn't because this is my life. Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I guess I just never view it that way. Like I want us all to win.
For sure.
Like there's plenty out there for everybody to win.
Everybody deserves their moment. Yeah.
If I see my friend doing a project or whatever, I'm going to support.
I'm going to support your shit. Like, yeah.
So that's another thing that I posted this week. There was this quote that said, my pay rate is based on my talent, not your budget.
For sure.
Right. So I don't know if you run into that to where like, hey, they hit you up and like, hey, come do this for exposure. Yeah. Right. Come do this. It's going to be a great look. Come do our thing for free. Right.
I'm not going to lie to you, Maverick. Like it's like I said, the value of people is sometimes so important to me that I will take some of those opportunities. It's like, if you may bring a crowd of people into the room that I couldn't get there. Yeah. that's maybe 40 people that I need to see me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that may be the trade that I take just so that I can get some new people to find out about KO and to hear this music. Like, that's 40 more cars in the parking lot. We can put them flyers on. Like, I need that opportunity sometimes. Like, the real value is in the people. And sometimes I might not get it now, but I know it's on the way from the sacrifices that I made and the work that I put in. So, like, I'm going to take some of them opportunities. This bullshit for the exposure. They always think it's you going to do this to help me and my brand. It's like, it ain't rooted in that, bro. I came for the people. It's not even about you.
Right.
Like,
but after so many times that you're going to bat for people, you can't deposit exposure.
You can't.
Exposure's not going to pay the bills.
You can't, but you cannot skip the grind. Everybody got to do it. It comes with the process. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you do got to grind till your feet hurt, and it's just a part of it. Like, you got to wait to get the payday later. It's not... I think everybody's journey is different. It won't always be the same. Like, sometimes you won't get it up front. So for me, I'm trying to wrap my brain around, all right, if I slow down and just take this moment and appreciate what's actually happening, like, I get sad and go through moments with this shit. I'll be depressed. I'll be having all type of shit going on. Like, I was talking to my cousin about some shit I was going through, and he was like, yo, you better lift your head up because you live in somebody's dream. Like, real talk. And like, he said some true shit. Like, I really had to sit back and think about it. Like, it's artists outside who do what I do would pray for the opportunities that I've had. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think whenever I counted, I'm up to 38 music videos. You know what I'm saying? Like,
really? Okay.
I think right around there, features included.
That's a lot.
In the last 4 years.
Okay. That's awesome.
So it's like, it's formulating. Like, whether you want to respect it or not, it's a real thing. Like, I'm a real artist. Like, I have real music videos. I could sit up and listen to playlists of myself for hours. I could watch myself on YouTube for hours. It's like, I really did the groundwork. So it's like, it is what I say it is in my head. Yeah.
Tell me about that, about the music video process. Do you do that on your own too and like write out the scenes and everything? Yeah. Or, you know, I imagine you being an independent artist, you like to be hands-on on everything, right? For sure. So tell me about that.
I want to write treatments for all my music videos because whenever I make the music, I have a movie playing in my head, like for each song. Like, if that's going to be a single, I've seen it in my head for what it could be. Okay. But, I write the treatments for them. I know the storylines. I know the scene, how I want it to look. I create the backdrop. The way that I'm dressed whenever I show up, I know how I want to present myself. So it's like I find the people who complement that, and then I just bring everything I've seen in my head to life. And I've done it time and time again.
In today's day, like, being on social media and visuals, that's super important, right?
Content creation. It runs the nation. Like, real shit, you got to have something to show these people. Like, people are living in their phones. Like we was talking about earlier, like, the whole world is digital. It's all about what the people can see on their timeline. No matter what app you on, they got to see you somewhere. So it's like, you got to have something worth showing to them. But like with me, I'm going to show you the work. I'm going to show you, like, they're going to show you some guns. They're going to show you some chains, like a whole bunch of bullshit. I'm going to show you this work. Like, this is a process. This isn't something that you get just because you wake up and have it. Like, it really does take a lot of work. So I have a lot of value in showing the process of that shit. So, yeah.
Cool. If I had to, like, ask you for one song that represents you or one song that's your favorite, what would be that go-to song that you've done so far? Or is it like your baby? Like, I can't pick one of my babies because I love them all.
No, I know my theme music 1,000%. If I had a theme song, it would be $1 Million Bitch. Like, that's like I said, I grew up a wrestling kid. So it's like, I have a rapper friend by the name of Thomas Who, and he told me, like, whenever you perform that song, it's like Stone Cold when the glass breaks. Like, I can hear you walking out to the ring and it's coming on. That's like I'm here. That's my song. So yeah, $1 Million Bitch for sure.
Cool. When did you lay that track? Is it like pretty recent or?
It's probably been like 3 years now.
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it stands strong. Like, if I perform that tomorrow, like, the people know. Like, the people who know KO, they know that song.
That's cool. I like to always ask that question because sometimes it's difficult because you know the songs you probably identify like certain times in your life, stuff that you were going through, and it's like, it's tough, right? Like, they all have a meaning behind them.
They do, and I love them all, but it's like, when it's one of those ones that it's like, this is not just something that I love, this is something the world would love. Like, it's different. Yeah. You know, it's one of those, so yeah.
Okay, cool. What's on your goals list for the rest of this year? Like, what are some of the things that you want to achieve?
Like I said, a day at a time. For sure, I would like to get funding for my efforts and what I'm doing. Like, that's really like my main goal now. Like I said, it's independent. It's just, I feel like as far as Oklahoma hip hop goes, like I've hit the ceiling. I've seen it all, done it all. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm on a path to where it's like, okay, well, I want to take this to the World Stadium. Like, I want to take it over to the World stage and let everybody see it. Like, I don't want it to just be something for the locals. Like, this is the real deal. Right. So, like I said, it's all marketing. Everything is a money play in music. So it's just finding somebody who feels the way that I feel about what I'm doing. It's like, yeah, I'll stand behind that. Like, kind of just finding it because I got a 9 to 5. Like, my music is not funding my lifestyle right now.
Same.
So yeah.
I'm right there with you. It's like, You know, if you love something, you're going to make time for it.
For sure.
Right. And if you dedicate, and I think if you keep your head down, eventually it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right. So I have
consistency is key. Like as long as you keep doing it, somebody gonna see you. Like when people say that shit, like you really do only have to be right one time. Like somebody has to see it, that one person, and is like, no, I love this, and then it could be the handshake that could change your life. Yeah. Right.
If I were to ask you right now, pull up your playlist. Who am I gonna find on your playlist right now?
Right now, I've been playing a lot of Beyonce, of course, Party Next Door, Vince Staples.
Okay.
Whose album just came out that I've been heavy into? An artist by the name of Lady Ray. She used to go by Nicole Ray whenever I was younger, but it's just like I said, with creative blocks, I've been trying to find myself listening to things that I normally wouldn't gravitate to. Yeah. Like I've been playing Paramore's album a lot. This is why. Like I've been having that in rotation, just hearing some shit just other than what I would normally hear, just to try to inspire me to see what I can create. So yeah, it's all over the place. Like you probably find some Jeezy, some Gucci Mane, everything. It's crazy.
Cool. I've been curious to see what kind of numbers Gunna's album is gonna do. You know, because he just like got through all the stuff that he was dealing with or whatever. He put out his album. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting if he still has that support or not.
Yeah, I think with that situation, it's just I thought it was funny to me how people like poked at Gunna. It's like a lot of people was in the situation he was in. A lot of them took plea deals. It's like, why only point the finger at him? You know what I mean? He's the one with the platform, I guess. So I don't know. Yeah. But I don't know. The black community is sometimes it's different about its approach to that. Sometimes I don't agree with all of those things, but you know, I don't live in the streets. I take the sidewalk, so that ain't none of my business. I be at work. You feel me? So
I'm just curious, just from a numbers perspective, because a lot of people like to talk mess on the internet, right? Like everybody,
I think it'll be all right.
Everybody's like a keyboard warrior, a keyboard gangster.
For sure, it's so much they would do. Everybody would tell you how to fight if they wasn't in the ring. Like until they get in, it don't matter. So it's like, I think with him, he'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing about the world, like cancel culture being like not a real thing. If you keep making hits and good music, they gonna forget about it. Like, and some people won't, like people who are like, they morals and values standing on what they feel. Of course, they'll hold on to that. But then people who just riding the wave, just on the internet, just saying anything, you make a good song, they gonna forget about all that shit. Like,
yeah, definitely. So what kind of advice would you give someone in Oklahoma that does have aspirations to be an artist? Like, what would you say? Because it sounds like you've already learned some of those lessons, and you sort of had to like be tough when you needed to be tough and keep your head down, keep grinding. Yeah. So what kind of advice would you give them?
Definitely stay true to self. You know what I'm saying? Like, if possible, isolate yourself. I learned with me, because I'm a person who goes outside with love and respect, and I wear my heart on my sleeve. But what I do in the industry that I'm in, it's not made for that. It's not made for people like me with a pure heart. Like a lot of the stuff that I do just leave me with a heavy heart, because it's like, oh, well, you should have known that they was going this, and that. But it's like, I believe everybody deserves a clean slate until they give you a reason not to deserve one. You know what I'm saying? So I come into every situation feeling that way, and then when things go awry, I'll emotionally feel away. But it's like just learning my way through that, trying to get thick skin and just being like, you know what? I don't even care no more. Like, I'm just doing what I got to do. But at no point, like, I don't fold on my grind or the things that I'm doing, like, regardless of how I feel, the work going to get done. So, again, just hustling and being consistent.
Yeah. The hip-hop industry as a whole, I think, is super tough, right?
It's cutthroat,
when you see, like, you know, the rock industry or something, you see old rock stars, right? Like, you see, like, Aerosmith, you see Rolling Stones, you see all these guys. You never see old rappers.
They don't really give us legends. It's like, to the young kids, you old real fast. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, this old, like, get off the stage. We don't care about that. It's like, but he paved the whole way for everything that you did. Like,
and it's not even old. Like, I wouldn't consider them
old. They're not old.
Like
they're
Nas,
not old at all.
Like
he's
Nas
not old.
Or somebody, but they're like, oh, he's old. He's like, he's done with. And it's like, dude, it's like Nas. Like, what the heck?
And he's still making great music. It's like this. I think that's the reason why I always see Jay-Z the way that I do, because like he's evolved with that music. It's like as you came from a kid to like a grown man for real, like with a different lifestyle. You weren't still talking about drugs and being in Marcy. Like it evolved with every album and what you was going through in your life. So I don't know. I feel like whenever you create a true fan base, you'll always be able to sustain on that, because they can say what they want to about Nas, but he's still going on tour every year. Like there's still a new album. He just won a Grammy last year. Like
I think he still has
Nas.
It. He still has it. Yeah.
So that don't matter. People, it's like you said, keyboard warriors. They just get on their phone just to say something because the Wi-Fi work. They not talking about nothing though.
True. Do you think that'll ever change? Do you think there ever will be like old rap stars, old hip hop stars? Like,
I think we get legends, but sometimes not in rap. I think the closest to it would probably be Jay-Z. The follow up on that from for sure be Drake, J. Cole, or Kendrick. You know what I mean? Like those type of people. Yeah. Like we not getting a lot of them, but they do sprinkle through. Like I feel like if you make truly great music, like you can stand the test of time. Like Drake is evolving with these kids. Like if Lil Durk's having a run, Drake's pulling him into the fold. Like that's keeping his name relevant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I like Lil Durk's new project. What'd you think
it's like,
about it?
I think that it's cool. Like with Durk, sometimes it's like I want to hear evolution in the music. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been on his the positivity stuff, but it's like I said, I just want to evolve. I want to hear him experiment more. But I like Durk. I love the energy that he brings. You know what I'm saying?
That
like
one song is like All My Life or whatever.
With J. Cole?
Yeah, I like that track. It's dope.
J. Cole bodied that shit too. So yeah. But I love Lil Durk. Like I said, I really like his energy for what he does. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Do you think Jay-Z or even Kendrick, are they ever going to drop another project or no?
For sure. Like people like that don't go away. I think like whenever you truly are creative like that, you always going to have that itch. Like regardless of who the audience is, you always going to create. So it's like with Jay-Z, even whenever he takes his 6-year hiatus, he comes back and it's like the greatest shit you've heard.
It's like
in the
he
past
never
10
left.
years.
Right?
Like you didn't miss a step. You know what I'm saying? Like same thing for Drake. I think same thing for Kendrick. Like Kendrick evolves every album. He's in a new place in his life and talking about new experiences and stuff. So yeah, I think them people it's always gonna be around.
Yeah, that's cool. Whenever you perform, do you do it with the live band? Do you have a DJ that you work with? Like, what are your performances like?
It's usually like a DJ set with like tracks. If they have a house DJ, sometimes I'll go in there and use that. Sometimes DJs that I know, like DJ Marky, DJ Trey Woods, like it's just different people who I know and have personal relationships with that will come DJ my sets. But I do a show once a year with a live band. Like I do a lot of R&B, so people like to have that intimate experience. So I try to provide that. So,
I can see that being super dope, especially the way that you fuse, like you're singing, and you're rapping with the live band.
The people love
that
it.
would be
like
awesome.
Last few times that I've thrown the show, like the people really love it. So yeah.
Do you ever do any cover like R&B tracks or anything like that?
And my night shift is like my once a year R&B show with the live band, and it's like I do covers in the mix of that. So, you know, just to hear people sound like if it was that, what would it sound like? You know what I'm saying? Just to hear me on that type of vibe. So yeah, I do that for sure.
Who do you cover? I'm curious.
Summer Walker
okay.
was the last one that I did. I did some Jill Scott. Who is it? Her. I did some Her before.
Okay.
It bounces around.
Man,
like
so
whoever.
you're not messing around. Like all those names, like they're hard to cover.
Yeah, like they real artists.
Like they're real artists. They're really singing. Yeah.
So I mean, just experiment with like whatever is moving me at the time. I'll try to find a way to sneak that in there.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I think that's super cool. I think you should explore that more, like, you know, band and I don't know if you've ran into like experiences with DJs where they're just like, you just don't vibe well, right? Like I've heard horror stories where like the DJ like just wrecked the show for an artist because they didn't have the right instrumentals or their gear was kind of whack, kind of old school.
But
right?
even deep, like if they mic, it's like the shit they do on the mic or the way that they mix or the pause or they pause the music is terrible.
Yeah.
It's definitely a vibe you got to get. So that's why I love working with the guys who know me and know my performance and my set. Like I always prefer them, but like if it's a house DJ for sure, I've had those experiences where it's like, bro, what are you back there doing? Like that's not it. So yeah,
because even if they don't know your songs, like I'm sure there's portions in your song where they can just cut it off and then the people will just sing that part or whatever. Like you got to know which parts are gonna have the vibe. Yeah. Right. So if you're not dealing with your DJ, maybe they're gonna miss those crowd interaction moments. You know?
It's like you said, it's all connection and a vibe. So like if they're familiar with the music and they know of me and how I rock, it's usually a vibe. But if that's their first time really mixing one of my shows, I'm not expecting too much, bro. Like just let me rock. You don't got to do too much.
Yeah. What's the last concert that you went to just as a fan? Like what? You know, do you go to concerts often? I'm going to concerts like all the time. So.
No, I did like before my music started like rolling for real. Like I used to try to go to all the shows that I could make, but then it's like once you start dedicating your money and your time to this, you really don't even have it to do it no more.
True.
But the last person who I saw who I would say they had an amazing live show, it was probably when Jay-Z came here. It's probably been about 10 years now because this was like, was it the what's the album with Tom Ford?
Oh man, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Like it was that album whenever he came and he was at the Paycom Center.
Yeah.
And I went to go see him and I was like, damn, he really puts on a great live show. Like, and he was like probably mid-40s then. And it's like you still working the entire stage. Like you have a set list of hits. Like you can go for an hour 45 because you got the songs.
Easy.
You know? And the people in this room, they love that and they remember how that made them feel. And I think like moments like that, that's what make you remember it. This past weekend I saw The Whispers.
Okay.
And you know, they sing Rock Steady and they were talking about how it was the 59th anniversary of Rock Steady. Yeah. And they're still touring, getting paid to perform a song that was a hit 60 years ago. Like old guys having a great time. And in the moment, just watching them on stage and hearing them talk about it, I was like, this is the shit that it's really about. Even if they wasn't like the Gap Band or Earth, Wind and Fire, like they're still doing what they want to do, performing their music, making a living. Yeah. That's what it's all about. Like, yeah. So
cool. Tell me about your crazy musical journey experience? Tell me a little bit of that for all the viewers out there.
I take a lot of L's. I learned to stop saying that they was losses and more so lessons. You know what I mean? Like
Definitely.
everything that I put out there, I learned what I was supposed to learn. You know what I mean? My craziest one for sure, I went to go do one of my first paid shows out in Baltimore. Like this was it's probably been like 5 years now. My first out-of-state show. Mm-hmm. So I did not have the money to go do this show. Yeah. I'm getting paid $150 for it. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm getting on the plane. I'm going to go. Not worth it to go out there for this $150 because I got to pay round trip ticket, hotel, right. Uber to get to and from, whatever.
Yeah. But that's the grind that we're talking about, right? Sometimes you just got to do it to grind and to make stuff happen.
I don't make very smart financial decisions. I'm gonna be very honest with
you. Same.
So yeah, my car payment was gonna hit. Like the show was that Thursday. My car payment was gonna hit that Friday. So like, all right, I'm gonna get here. I'm gonna spend the money I need to spend. And when my car payment hit, my account just gonna go into the negative. But whatever, because I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah.
So while I'm up in the air, they draft my car payment.
Oh no!
Now I'm not knowing. Like I'm in the airport. I'm walking to the rental car terminal to get my rental car.
Yeah.
Chopping it up with the lady. Oh, these are great restaurants. When you get into the city, you need to go here and try this. Go over here to this mall, whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. Hand her my debit card.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not going through, man. I'm like, I got like I know it's on there. Like try it again. So
yeah,
swipe it again and don't go. I pull up my account. Negative. Like they done took my money. You feel me? Like I don't have no money to get a Uber from the airport. Mm-hmm. I don't have no money to get a taxi. I don't have any money to leave this airport. I'm in Baltimore, Maryland, stuck in the airport with my account in the negative.
Money to stay somewhere overnight.
I have nothing. Right? Like no. My hotel was good because I had paid online.
So
my hotel was good, but I didn't have any money to get into the city to my hotel. It was like a 40-minute drive. Okay, cool. So I'm sitting on the bench like crying, like I'm fucked up in the airport. I don't have no money. So my cousin, I keep calling him and he's trying to figure out a way to get me some money. Like, you know, you done got up there, you got to figure the situation out. Mm-hmm. We can't get nothing to me. So as I'm sitting there, this lady waiting to get in the TSA line to get on her flight, she stops as I'm sitting there like having this breakdown on the bench, and she was like, "Look, this is my Metro card that I had while I was here. Yeah. I don't know what you got going on, but it looked like you're going through a lot. This should be enough money to get you into the city." Man. So give me the Metro pass. I get on the train, ride into the city. Yeah. Just so happened my homegirl's mom is working for the government. They work for the USDA out there.
And you didn't even know that?
No, I did not know this at the time. Like I called my sister and I'm crying. She's like, "Hey, Jazz is my friend from college." She was like, "You know, Jazz's mom is working out there now. Like call Jazz and see if she can get you in touch with her mom." Yeah. I call my homegirl Jazz. She's like, "It's nothing. You should have told me you was going to be there like this and that. I would have my mom come pick you up, all this stuff." So take the train, get into town. Her mama gets off work and picks me up downtown. Drives me into the city to my hotel. Lets me use her credit card to schedule an Uber to get a ride back after the show from the hotel back to the airport. Yeah. I think just to have the show was great. The people was amazing. I got paid. It was cool. It was a great experience. I don't trade it for nothing, but it just showed me that there was nothing I wouldn't do to get the things done that I need to do. Like, and I was dedicated from that moment forward. Like, I don't give a damn what got to go, how many times I got to break down, what got to happen. I'm doing what I got to do. You feel me? So that's for sure my craziest experience. Like,
man, that's amazing. And I'm a big believer in energy, right? So if you're putting out that energy, like I'm going to make it happen regardless. Yeah. And then things just like happen for you. Like
they flow.
It just all worked out.
Like,
right?
I don't got the money, but somehow, some way, God going to make this happen. And I've seen that 1,000 times. Like I didn't have it. But when it was time to get the invoice paid, there it was. And no matter how it came or what I'm going to have to do later on to fix it, but it came. You feel me? So, Did
you have enough money to eat at least or something?
Yeah. I had like $40 cash because I had a little cash in my wallet if I wanted to eat at the airport. But it's like...
I'm over here worried about like, hey, do you got a place to sleep? You got food? Like, hey, tell me everything's okay.
I had the hotel. Like, I had prepaid for the hotel online, which I thank God for that. Because if I would have had waited till I got there, I would have been fucked off. But just seeing opening that phone and seeing my account on negative and being stuck in that airport, like I said, I really did break down on that bench, like cried in front of everybody walking past, looked like a dramatic scene out of a Lifetime movie. Like I was on that bench bawling.
Before you handed the card and the client had you like talked about, like, oh, I'm a rapper, I'm here to do a show.
Yo, I was on Google Maps trying to find what restaurant I was going to eat when I got into the city. Like I wasn't even thinking that there was a possibility this wasn't going to flow. Now I'm planning not to make my car payment, but I'm planning to be all right while I'm out here.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, man, I was really just geeked to be in the city. Like all the things I was going to go see. I'm going to have my rental. I'm going to go everywhere I want to go. Wrong. Yeah, that was crazy.
I mean, that's what a lot of people don't see, right? They don't see the struggle. They just see Instagram. They think like she's living the best life, right? Like performances, music videos. They don't see the grind, the behind the scenes, the struggle just to get your dreams out there, right?
For sure. Like, I think that those are the moments that's going to matter. I always think about it. Like I said, I'm a big picture person and I'm delusional. So I always think of my movie whenever it's all said and done. And it's like, this is going to be a great scene in my movie. Like, sometimes in the middle of my cry, I'll be like, this is going to be a great scene when I get my movie. But all the hip hop, like, documentaries or the movies that I've seen on the artists that I love, like the NWA stories, it really is the bad shit that makes the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like the great things that you see that they went through to build character. It's like, that's the stuff they love you for. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that's super important. I think, and if everybody had it made, maybe you wouldn't be inspired to write the music that you do, right? Like if everything was just handed to you, you probably wouldn't be as authentic.
Right. I don't trade nothing that makes me the woman that I am. You know what I'm saying? I thank God for my experience, like good, bad, and different. It's like I don't trade anything that makes me who I am.
Yeah.
So it's like just learning how to wrap my brain around that. It's like, no, I always want to be who I am. I always have to get to this place. And it's like whenever I get to where I'm going, I had to go through all of that to be that. So if that was God's way of showing me to get here, then it just is what it is. So yeah.
Yeah. What's been your favorite performance that you've done?
I would for sure say last year's Norman Music Fest. It was like probably one of my hypest shows. Like you would have thought I would already made it by then. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
Just to have, and they all college kids riled up, drunk in the bar. They was throwing money on stage and all type of stuff. But like sober or not, you feel that music, and they gave me their energy that night. So that was probably like one of my favorite experiences.
That's cool. Have you done that show before, or was this
that was
like
my
your
first time? Yeah.
Okay, cool. Where would you say you have the biggest following? Like, is it back in Enid or now in OKC or Norman? Like, where do you think you have the biggest following?
OKC is my biggest following now. Number 2 is for sure Tulsa, Dallas, Houston, Seattle, and I believe College Town, Texas.
Okay.
Don't know much about these places or how the music gets to where it's going, but those are like my biggest markets. Like, so it's I'm hitting the state that I'm in, the state around me. How I got to Seattle, I don't know. I think I did like 2,000 streams in the UK as of now.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Don't know how I got over there. Don't have no money to market it there, but somebody over there think it's a vibe. You know what I'm saying?
But right? And it's on your radar. So whenever you can make it happen, right?
For sure. Like if I could get on to like artist showcases or something like that, I'll go do it, man, just to get the people who are in that area. Like some people look at it like it's small, but to me, 2,000 plays in a city like that, that's a big deal to me. It's like somebody is thinking enough to keep pressing play on that. So I would love to be where they at.
I think sometimes we take those numbers for granted, right? Because online, they're just digital numbers.
Yeah.
But if you imagine 2,000 people in a concert hall, you're going to fill it up.
Yeah.
Right? In 2,000, it's easy to see like, oh, only 2,000 likes or only 2,000 followers. And a lot of time people take that for granted, I think.
I don't even look at it like that. I'd be like, look, if I could go to the UK and do a show and it was 19, 20 people in the room, I won that day.
Still
you feel me? Like I won that day.
Yeah.
Like you never know who in that room will really lock in and love what you do. Like
Right.
I can't stress it enough how much I value the people that love my gift and what I do, like, and how it's impacted them. Like when I do, I'm such an introvert that I don't really go nowhere and like hang out with people. But whenever I do go outside, I always get a lot of love that I don't expect. And from people who, like you said, I'm not thinking that you even know who I am or seeing what I'm doing. And it's just like, no, this is, whenever I take my kids to work, I play this song. This is my get up in the morning motivation song. Right. And it's like, you don't know me from the Man in the Moon, but the music is resonating with you. Like I can't trade that for nothing else. Yeah. So
I would have never guessed that you're an introvert. You come across as like super confident,
Hell
super
no.
like determined. No,
I'm like whenever it's time to turn the lights on or turn the mic on, the job gonna get done. But just as me, Jamie from Enid, like I'm a super introvert loner to myself. It's like I'm real quiet. All I want to do is listen to my music, smoke my weed, and mind my business.
Yeah.
Like that's all I want to do.
So you don't really like enjoy being around people?
If I'm honest with you, my anxiety real bad. Like it's probably some trauma shit or something. But it's like big crowds and being with people I don't really know and be familiar with. It messes with me a lot, and I'll be like, this makes me really uncomfortable, but I got to force myself to be in situations to get the things that I want. So
definitely.
I'm learning it, but I won't say that it don't come with some shit to where I need to just take time and recharge because I don't want to be around all these people I don't know. Yeah.
So how do you hype yourself up before a show? You're about to go on stage. You're probably like super nervous, I imagine, or
it's
what?
not a show that I've done that I have not been nervous. Like every single time. It's like my stomach got the bubble guts as I can't. But it's like, I gas myself up. Like I said, I'm delusional. It's like walking into a wrestling match. Like I'm going in here for the win. And I like long before, whenever I was super broke and I couldn't even afford a contact lens, like I would just take my glasses off so the crowd would be a blur. I wouldn't know.
Really?
Like if the figures are out there, I don't know if they're not feeling it or not, but I'm giving it everything that I got.
That's a good hack.
So,
that's a good hack. You're like, I don't even see who's out there.
Hey man,
right?
just grateful that I'm not falling off the edge. But Yeah, the crowds was blurred for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, but once I built it up and the people's reaction was like, no, them figures is moving a little bit. They like what I'm doing. So yeah, just growing from that confidence, it turned me into a different type of performer. So yeah.
Do you have any rituals that you do behind stage? Like, I don't know, like any vocal warm ups or anything that you have to do all the time? No?
I need to, and I need to stop smoking weed, but I pray. Like, so much of what I do and who I am and where I'm at, like I give glory to God for all of that. So it's like I'm gonna always take that time to give it up. Like right before I go on, I'm praying that I don't forget my words, that I have a great set, that it's connecting to the people who need to feel it in the building. So yeah, I go to the source first.
Awesome. That's cool. We were talking a little bit off camera, and it sounds like maybe you know Sky High. She's been on the podcast before.
Yeah.
Have you done any collabs with anybody here locally, or do you plan to do anything like that?
I have like a whole album of like Oklahoma collabs. Like in the meantime was really like an Oklahoma playlist. Like if I would say, there's so much more new stuff going on now, but at that time, like the cream of the crop is on that album. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as what was going on in the Oklahoma City scene and a little bit of Tulsa, but yeah, I would say that's the one where it was a big collab thing. I feel like with what I'm doing, my confidence in who I am, like I come in the room like I'm the greatest. So it's like, I feel like because of the way I feel and the way that I move, God gonna show you me, but I'm gonna show you Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna take them risks to go work with different videographers, photographers, artists, producers, DJs. Like I gotta show you the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I present the package a different way. So it's like, yeah, if I can bring somebody into the fold who's truly dope and then like make that a moment, yeah, why not?
Awesome.
For sure.
Cool. I think you're headed in the right direction. I mean, you're super determined. You can tell you're passionate about what you're doing. So I have no doubt you're going to be successful. I wish you continued success.
Yeah.
We are getting here the signal that we're running out of time. But before we do that, I want to give you your space to plug in your socials. Where can people find you? And maybe some upcoming events. This is going to come out Monday. So it's going to be, you're going to have the super busy weekend. But any future stuff, if you want to plug in, go for it.
For sure. My name, like I said, I go by the name of KO, Illest Bitch Alive. Fuck who tell you otherwise. I'm on everything as She Is KO. If you need any more details, my website is sheisko.com. IBA, that's the movement, the campaign. You can't miss it. The brand you can trust. You know what I'm saying? This coming year, my new album is Not You, It's Me on the way. So yeah.
Man, I need you to do my intro. Like you got everything unlocked, all the branding, like all the hype. I need you to do my intro.
It's important, man. You gave my moment. I got to shine. No,
I appreciate that. I want to thank you so much for being on the podcast. I know you're super busy and it takes time out of your schedule to do this.
No, thank you, Maverick. I love the quality. I love what you're doing here. I think this is a really dope setup. Like y'all doing some professional shit here, and that's to be acknowledged. Like, thank you for having me, bro, for real.
Yeah, definitely enjoyed it. Definitely welcome back anytime. Just hit me up. You know how to, get in contact with me.
For sure.
So
I'm here.
Doors always open.
Thank you.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The international, not local, KO on the Maverick Podcast. Keep grinding because in dreams we trust.